What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with a live video. What's going on, gentlemen? I want to come on today and talk about Wonderland Amusement, their Kickstarter program. They have 3 days left to the pledge. What's going on, everybody? And you know, I had a change of heart, and I want to talk about that. So before we get started, let's see who have taken out some time in their evening to say hello. What up, Brooklyn Menace? James Hates Everything. Retro Delo. What's going on? Jason S. Mike of all trades. What up, Moat? Twisted Gaming TV. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a piece of junk. What up, Jason? So let's talk about it. I had pledged. This is what I pledged originally. The Mad Hatter's Choice, plus I did the 3D sculpture bundle, and it was going to be $75 for shipping. And as you guys know, I've been all in with this project. Very excited about this project. Created a Facebook group where people are very active in talking about it. But you know, I've been playing a lot of pinball lately in various different ways of playing pinball. So this is not to stir any drama or anything like that. Just being honest, and I think a lot of people may be able to relate to what I was feeling here. So if you're still deciding whether to back it or you're just watching from the sidelines, where I am now, this is what made me pull back. There's obviously some unknowns. Right, there are some unknowns. So let's talk about the unknowns. Right, this is a new company, so there's no proven support system in place. You know, it's a mechanical pinball, so you know it's going to need some long-term support for it to work out. Parts are going to wear out, things are going to break, right? And so who's going to help us in a year or more, right? You know, and I can't help but, you know, I want them to be successful. You know, my connection to in the home arcade community, you know, I back the iArcade. And I want these guys to be successful. I backed them. In a few years, they disappeared, right? I still have my iArcade, and it still works fine. I hadn't had any need for support with it. But it's a digital machine, right? You know, this here is different because it's mechanical. It's mechanical. Things are going to wear out. Things are going to break. And so, you know, if these guys disappear, it's definitely going to have a much different impact than, say, what iArcade's impact was when they faded away. Steve is here. What up, brother? Mr. Chip says, I canceled mine as well. I had the early bird, and after seeing the DMD, I just couldn't. My biggest worry is that they will never be able to make that price with the new tariff. Well, I think the price was guaranteed, or they're guaranteed. They're saying they're sticking to the price regardless of the tariff. They're going to eat the price of any of that. Do you feel like this will even make it to the finish line? I think it's going to finish to the. I think it's going to make it to the finish line. I don't have any doubt in that. Yes, I did cancel a lot of risk. So, okay, these are things I had to consider. So let's look at what the backers are getting, right? the price, not the early bird, because they have a 20% discount, but the backers at the only price, the $8.49, is only a 15% discount, right? And that's fine. 15% is 15%, but there's no exclusive content, no bonus games, no stretch goals. Normally with a Kickstarter, these are called rewards. These are called rewards. It's not a pre-order, right? It's called a reward because typically they're going to reward those people who are willing to take the risk for it to come to market with some added bonuses, right? And typically they'll do that. And the things I suggested was, tempered glass, right? For the people that backed it, tempered glass didn't have to be on the final project if you didn't want to do it, but give the people that are backing it to make it happen something extra because they're taking all the risk. And I did video after video talking about those things, and I just assumed they would be doing the stretch goals to get more people excited, to get us backers that were in to tell other people about it, because they were to get those extra rewards. But they just didn't. They just weren't interested in giving the extra to make it worth the risk, because otherwise we're just getting the 15% off the MSRP, right? So it's not that big. And if it was 50% off, right? If it was 50% off, then that's a big enough incentive for you to say, the hell with it, I'll take the risk. But 15%, if I believe they're going to go to market. I believe they're going to come to market. There's no, I don't have any doubt about that. But the other thing I don't have any doubt about is that they're going to go to retail. And the thing about retail is that retail is a physical space in most cases, or even they buy the inventory like a Sam's Club, and they buy them in this bulk, and then they have to sell them, and then eventually they can't go on sale. So my chances of getting it at 15% off after the fact is much higher. It's pretty high. So, and even if I pay full price and the thing works out, and I think it's worth it, but they have enough backers. That's the key thing. They have enough backers for it to go ahead. So there's really no need for me to be there, right? So being a Kickstarter backer means you're taking risk and getting something special. But here, we're basically just getting a pre-order with a discount, right? We're basically getting a pre-order with risk, and it just doesn't make any sense to me at this point in time. So here's a big one for me. I've been playing a lot of pinball lately. A lot of pinball, real pinballs, virtual pinballs, in the real world, virtual reality. Even on my Switch on the AP, I got my VXP. VXP. Am I saying it right? It doesn't sound like it. So, but anyway, the virtual pinball on PC. And you know what? I enjoy my virtual pinball. I enjoy it a lot. And with me going and finally playing these tables I've been playing for years on the virtual pinball, VPX, what I found is that all of the tables that I really enjoy on the virtual pinballs translated very well to the real pinballs. So I enjoyed it just as much on VPX as I do in the real world. I didn't go into the real world and go, oh, this is so much better. Oh, I enjoy it in both. The tables that I absolutely do not enjoy on VPX, I play those in the real world, and I absolutely do not enjoy them, right? And then there's a lot of tables I played that I have never played on VPX. Who's the pianist that played with the glasses? Elton John, the Chocolate Factory. I played all these games. The Venom. All these tables. The one Peak Dubs have with the tree. I don't even know what the hell this thing's called. But I played all these things, and these are $10,000 or $8,000 more tables that I just didn't find fun at all. I didn't find them fun at all. So that That being said, every owner of real pinball tables that I know have at least sold off at least one or more of their pinball tables. Why? Because the novelty wears off. The novelty wears off. So if I'm going to drop close to $1,000 on a physical one, it's got to be fun, not just cool looking. And I don't know, I'm just not getting fun vibes from what they share. And again, I understand that it's early on, and it's going to get better, and they're going to develop this thing. But the risk versus the reward is just not significant enough. I could just wait to retail, right? It's 15% off. It's just not that big of a deal. I was back at 29, and like I posted before, I canceled my pledge. I was just not liking what I've seen so far. Sure, the tariffs will impact it, even the Glenn's FU cabinet, but I'm really looking forward to it. The FX VR, those are fun. I am enjoying that tremendously. I'm going to do some more of these videos. I am enjoying that a lot. Don't blame me for canceling too many unknowns, says Hobby Monster. I think I'll save up for Stranger Things. See, and so I look at the tables that I really love. I really love Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys have ever played Spider-Man pinball on Stern. That table is so fun, so enjoyable. It never gets old for me. I can just play it. I can play it every day and wouldn't be bored of it, right? But I have zero interest in buying that cabinet. Zero interest, because I can go to the pinball. I have this arcade near me that has all those pinballs. I can go anytime, pay $20, right? And I can pay $20 to the day I die, and I still won't get to $1,000, right? So it just doesn't make sense. And those are tables that have thousands and thousands of dollars to plan and make fun. And I still just didn't enjoy it. But I wanted a mechanical pinball, and for $1,000, it's still worth the risk to me, but it just doesn't make any sense for me to get it at this very low discount. I'll just wait. And if it turns out that I'm wrong and it's fantastic, then I'll just pay the full price, or I can get it on sale. Danny H says, I think it was a good idea to cancel. Yeah, Spider-Man is good by Stern. Yeah, here's the thing. Wonderland already has over $639,000 pledged with 3 days left. They don't need my money to succeed, right? So I'm stepping back. I'll wait and see how it lands. If it gets great reviews, if the Android, because that's the thing I heard, the key thing I heard about, it has an Android platform. So if the Android platform leads to like cool hacks and cool mods, like Mystery Encoder, those guys get their hand on it, I can see this thing being taken to another level. And so if that catches on and does so, then even at retail, it'll be worth it for me. So backing out isn't worth the gamble. So that's where I stand with that. So yeah, I canceled my pledge, not because I think it's a scam, not because I'm mad, not because it's just not right for me right now. If you're still in, that's great. If it turns out to be amazing, I'll be the first one to say I was wrong. But now I'm just keeping my wallet closed, my options open. Like I said, if they was going to give us some extras for pledging it, tempered glass, if they gave us a significant amount off of it, 25% even, 30% off, something significant, something you can buy. I mean, you can go to just about any store on any day and you get 15% off, right? 20% off. That's not even, that's really not. You look at like Bed Bath Beyond. It's like I never buy anything from that store unless I have a 20% off coupon, right? And I can get a coupon, 20% off coupon anytime I want it, right? So 20% is just not significant enough, right? Even if I gotten the 15% off, I'm sorry, 20% is what the early birds people got. 15% off, it's just not significant enough. And like I said, if my contribution was going to knock them out of their pledge goal, I wouldn't cancel. Okay, I'll just be honest with you. I wouldn't cancel if it was going to knock them out of their pledge goal. But because they have well over what they need to be able to go to market, you know, they don't need me. They don't need me. And that's the bottom line. B Kirby says, I'm out to Detroit. The flipping weakness on Beacon really bothered me, and I can deal with the call outs not working that day. But the flippers have me sold. Now, again, I'm going to say, again, that's a prototype, right? We can't expect the prototype to work the way the production one would be. But another aspect of it, I still haven't heard who their pinball expert is on the team. I hear all these other people, you know, and I don't know enough about it. Love the hat, Carl agreed to wait on Wonderland. It seems like they're rushing and too unlikely to cut corners for something that's very undeveloped as it is. Again, Calvin Wong says he's sticking with his at games. I mean, okay, I would say this. I love the idea of the at games 4K. I wish I had gotten the 4K instead of the regular, right? But if I didn't get this one, you guys probably wouldn't have the 4K. Is the 4K worth it to me today? No, because I already have this. It just doesn't make sense for me. I can sell this and get money towards any one of these projects. I can sell my Big Blue, which I never played, and so it's not even the money. I can take money already spent and put it at the risk. But again, I can do the same thing and get it at retail. It just doesn't. I mean, I thought about this and contemplated this well enough. But those are the factors, man. It's just the knowns and the unknowns, right? They said they're going to make a store available for the parts, right? They're going to give you a year warranty. That's the only reward per se that people who pledge gets. They get a longer warranty. But if we just look at RK1UP when they first came out, we had a plethora of issues that tech support had to have a tech support. They had to build that tech support. It was delays, right? I received upside down marquees. I received, screens that had to be replaced on enough cabinets, right? But this is their one cabinet. And so if you get those type of issues, because they're basically using the same network of people, right? That's who they know. So that risk is there. And so to get that cabinet and to not be able to play, it just doesn't make sense. I'll just wait and see what happens, right? How it turns out for everyone that did pledge and stick with it. I don't see, my decision causing, 80% of the people to pull their pledge. So I don't doubt that they're going to go to market. I believe they're going to go to market. But I just, I like some of the aspects of that I saw in this last video, that, they're going to have the settings, right? You'll have these settings, and I understand they're going to be able to change some of these things with this update thing, but I don't know. This DMD I just wasn't feeling it. One thing I hope they do, and one thing I'm discovering with the virtual pinball, I hope they have local leaderboards, right, for people who come to your house and your family. I hope they have local leaderboards so that you have a leaderboards for just the people that play on your machine, right? Because if you just have a leaderboard that's worldwide, some of these people are going to have way more time, way more skill level, and you're never going to get on those scoreboards, or the possibility that you may never get on the scoreboard. You'd be so far down the list that you get tired of scrolling to look for where you are. So I think it's important that they make a local scoreboard that resides on the machine, so that I can stand up and see, oh, I'm gonna beat my score from last time, or I'm gonna beat my wife's score, I'm gonna beat my best friend's score, and have that competitiveness locally, not just on the global leaderboard. So hopefully they can do that. Beerman says, Beerman Pinball, I figured I didn't need it. I have hundreds of tables on virtual pinball. Yeah, again, virtual pinball, I have hundreds of tables on there. Of those hundreds of tables, I still only play maybe 20. And of those 20, I only really have 5 or so that I play often. Okay. Steve Shell says, you bring up some good points. I'm rethinking seriously with the deadline close. They didn't help themselves by showing that WC, the WorldCom, WonderCon comic books, WonderCon. Glad you express your concerns, all valid points. Again, these are just my thoughts. What may become to my decision. Again, I want them to be successful. I think the market is rich, and there's a lot of room for growth in that. If they're successful, then it's going to have other people, maybe not Stern may not change, Jersey Jack, and those guys may not change their game up at all, but it may have other competitors that come in and start making some progress. And even if they don't become $1,000 cabinets, maybe they're $2,000 or $3,000 cabinets that people are able to make. We need a dedicated pinball tank stick. That tank stick, I would love to see that develop, where you have some nudging. Now you can nudge with the left plunger, but I love, again, I have this at games here, and I can hook this up to my computer. It's just stuff I'm just not willing to do at this point in time, not with my main computer. And I have computers sitting around that I can easily do. I would need to get a graphics card probably, but I'm just not motivated to do it, right? I have so many ways to play pinball, and I enjoy those ways that, for what it does, I throw my switch on it and it's fine. When I don't have that big, beautiful screen, it works out perfectly. If I want to play miniature on my little arcade that's behind me, I enjoy playing pinball there. I love playing pinball most on my toy shop, which is way smaller. I can gut that thing out and put it in here, and I may still do that one day. But I enjoy all these different ways of playing, and I'm definitely enjoying the Pinball FX VR. To be able to hold that physical thing, to have this machine look like it, to be in that virtual world. I'm not in my basement, right? If I can be in my basement if I want, and even that way is pretty cool. But you transform. I think they definitely need to develop that product. A lot of us been playing walkabout golf, and we get to go in there and talk and play some putt golf. If Zen Studios can do that with this arcade, this VPX, this Pinball FX VR, to be able to have your buddies come over to the arcade, because you go into that arcade and it's huge and it looks beautiful. I customized mine today, if you guys didn't see the video, and got it just the way I want it. But it's just me. It's just me. And the pinball is fun, and I'll go there and play some pinball. But how much more fun would it be if there was social? It was the social element of it. It's not even a guy standing at the counter to greet you when you come in. You just appear there, and it's like you snuck in to the arcade while they were closed, and got some free games in. So I really hope that they can invest the opportunity, because I think that would be huge to be able to have that social element, to be able to go in and have people play. Now, the X Arcade also has their product called the Arcade Ranger, and I saw that you can make some rooms. I think you can invite some people, and I hadn't been able to do that yet. So I got to get all my ROMs in and all that stuff. So that's a whole different videos coming up once I figure all that out. But the Pinball FX VR is a lot of fun. It would be so much fun if you can have people come over and play. Oh yeah, I understand that. Again, I'm not insinuating that I'm going to impact people's decisions. It's just my decisions. I want to just share people with uh, what I have. With a plunger and the nudge button, that would be sweet. Yeah, because when you're not playing in the X arcade mode, you can grab a virtual plunger, but to have a real plunger there, that would be cool. Um, and I don't oppose to right now this with the VPX or with the X arcade. That stick is well made, it's solid. It can be used for so many purposes. But I personally wouldn't mind paying half the price of that. And again, I didn't pay for that one. They gave it to me for a review. But I wouldn't be opposed to paying half that price just to have a dedicated pinball with the plunger, with the appropriate buttons that all work with that Pinball FX VR. Not to have all the joysticks and all those other buttons that doesn't have anything to do with pinball. I would love to have that as option. I could see that taking off. And if you add that with the social elements where people can come in and hang out with people and make private rooms where you can go, or you can just go in where people just are free to come in if you don't have a password or whatever, that would be cool. But with your buddies in there, you all playing some pinball together, that would be awesome. Yeah, so Zen VR definitely has a lot of potential. If I were them, I would even consider licensing arcade ROMs that can be played. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that I would be interested in doing. I wouldn't need to have a whole lot of them. Have my Donkey Kong for sure, maybe some Pac-Man. So Glenn said he would do a pinball control next, and if it can interface with something like this would be super awesome. All right, guys. So I'm not going to keep you long, going on half an hour. I don't think it entailed that much, but I just wanted to let people know idea, because I've been telling people the whole time the project doesn't need you. If people who had doubts and concerns, I kept telling them, hey, the project doesn't need you. They have enough backers to bring it to market. So if you're on the fence, it won't matter if you drop out. And so I took my own advice for those reasons. I think they're all valid for me, and I thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for visiting me. Thanks for coming in and saying what up. I appreciate that. I'll go ahead and let you guys go. Guys, stay tuned to the channel. YouTube finally monetized me again. They screwed me out of my most busiest time of the season. And I looked online. They've been doing that to a lot of people. They say that we reuse material with no explanation, no, they don't identify any videos. They just kick you out the program and say, oh, in 2 months we'll let you get back in, and so it's just ridiculous. And so, but they finally got me back in. So now I have super chats, and now I have the ability to monetize my videos. But I got screwed out. This has been the most busiest time of the year for me, and I made nothing from all those videos I made since December. So it's just ridiculous. But that being said, I enjoy making these videos. I should get something for my efforts, and not just YouTube, because YouTube is definitely making money off of all of our videos. Whether you're monetized or not monetized, they monetize it and they make money So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a class action suit against them for this move. It looks like it's AI. They had this AI come in and they evaluate these things. Then they give you an appeal process that clearly is not a human being doing anything, because I submitted a video and clearly no one watched the video, but then they came back immediately and said, "Oh, your appeal didn't meet the qualifications." So it's just total BS. And they've stole money from us. They stole money from countless YouTubers. So I hope this stuff picks up. I hope there's a class action suit against them, because they've made billions, millions and billions off of us, and we deserve our cut without them fabricating issues to screw us out of our money. So that's my rant on YouTube. But thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Again, I still have my New Wave Toys Zotar. I'm getting closer and closer, inch by inch, to the 6,000 subscribers. Once I get there, I'll be mailing that off to a lucky viewer. So I appreciate you. I love you. Until next time, I'll see you on the web.
Thanks for watching Detroit Love. Please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. We want to see and read your comments below. And until next time, I'll see you on the web.